What is going on, folks? It is Rigor Mortis, and we are back with yet another video. And what I wanted to do for you guys today is talk about a stock that I've already talked about on this channel before. And I'm going to give you guys the case as to why I think that it's going to continue to do well over the next at least a few years. But I think that it also has a pretty good long-term projection as well. I could be very wrong about it, but these are just going to be my opinions and thoughts about this stock. And of course, as always, you guys should always go out, do your own due diligence and research, and make sure that you are investing wisely. Because this is not financial advice. I'm just trying to put you guys on plays that I'm on. So today, what I wanted to do is talk about BioHiTech and why I think this company has a pretty good long-term projection. So last time, whenever I talked about this company, I focused a lot about their renewables and how they're turning pretty much waste, like waste that we make as humans, and turning that into renewable energy. And of course, I think that is extremely interesting. I think that in and of itself is pretty revolutionary when it comes to waste management. But something that I kind of hinted towards whenever we talked about the stock last time is the food digesters. So the obviously the waste management is big, but this is also very interesting to me as well. These food digesters, and they have plenty of them. So the thing about these food digesters is BioHiTech or BHTG, they're already selling these things. And now you would probably think, okay, what kind of company would be willing to buy some of these food digesters, and there's a lot of them. So if you think about some of the places where a lot of waste is generated, those are pretty much the sectors that BioHiTech is targeting. So the two biggest ones that stood out to me are the restaurant industry, where a bunch of food waste is generated and it's essentially just thrown in the trash. And then the other one is cruise ships. So those are pretty much the two, whenever I looked at their investor presentation, that these guys are targeting. And so we have a business model that is working well, and I looked at some of their press releases. Right here, BioHiTech receives approximately $2 million in new food waste digesters orders from 14 ships from Carnival Cruise Lines and Princess Cruises. And another one here, BioHiTech. This one was January 26th, so just last month, and then this one was in December 16th of last year. BioHiTech receives new food waste digester orders from Holland America and P&O Cruises, and additional orders from Princess Cruises. So these guys, they're coming back and buying their digesters. Now, what's interesting is you guys obviously know that we're in this huge pandemic. Nobody's living under a rock around here. We're in this huge pandemic, and the need and want for these digesters might be a little bit low right now. And another industry that they're targeting is actually like sports teams. Whenever a sports team has this huge sports complex, a lot of food waste is generated. They actually have partnered up with the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Eagles have actually purchased some of these as well, if my deep dive was correct. So there's a lot of want and need here, but obviously during this global pandemic there might not be as strong of a want and need right now. So this might actually be a reasonable recovery play as well. Once we start kicking things back up, once the cruise ships come back online, once we're able to start going to movie theaters, and once we're able to start going to restaurants and sporting events and things of that nature, there might be a much bigger want and need for these digesters. So this is just something to keep in mind. This might actually end up being quite the recovery play if the market opens up the way we expect it to, and there becomes a bigger demand for something like this. Now, obviously, their landfill waste solution, I think, is extremely interesting. That's kind of why I got into this stock to begin with. But once I started thinking about the digesters, I was like, okay, there's a lot of room to grow here, and I think that this is not only going to be a good short-term play, but it might be a very good long-term play as well. And so obviously we all know as well that we have this new president, and Biden is putting on the forefront. I think he actually mentioned this during his inauguration about environmental justice and how we are going to combat climate change. And so if you just go on the joebiden.com website and go to the climate plan, he kind of lays out in great detail how we want to do this. And so, obviously, one of the biggest things is ensure the U.S. achieves 100% clean energy economy and reaches net zero emissions no later than 2050. And so what Biden is going to try to be doing here, I mean, what I think he's going to be trying to do is really put climate change on the forefront of his presidency after he deals with some of these ongoing issues, or maybe concurrently with the whole COVID-19 pandemic. Because even if you read this plan of his, and obviously I didn't read it in, line by line or anything like that, but they they do get into this whole, okay, we need to take care of COVID as well. So, Biden is he's still putting this on the forefront though, if this information is, if I'm reading it correctly. So I think there is, a lot going for BHTG here in the next few years. We have a Biden presidency where climate change is going to be a focus. We have these, cruise ships and all these recreational activities that have been locked down essentially due to COVID. They're going to start coming online, so that might increase the need for some of these digesters. So this is not only like a renewable play here, I think, which I'm all about renewable energy, but this could also be a recovery play. And interestingly enough, if the way that BioHiTech is treating waste management is completely different than anybody else. And so they're decreasing the amount of landfill use that we're doing as well. So these guys are just they have their hands in a little bit of everything, and they're actually in the desanitization industry as well, or sanitization, not desanitization, sanitization industry as well. So they really have their hands in everything, and I think that this is going to be a good play not only in the short term when we're talking about COVID and COVID recovery, but also in the long term when we're talking about how do we better our climate, how do we fix the planet, things of that nature. So these are just my 2 cents when it comes to BHTG. Now, if we just very quickly look at the stock and how it's moved, obviously, there wasn't a bunch of movement. It was kind of just like up and down, a little bumpy here and there. But over the last 5 days or so, we kind of saw this crazy, crazy, crazy run up. It went to about $4, so it pretty much doubled in price, a little bit more than doubled in price, and that was just yesterday. And then we had this cool down, and now we're sitting. So it went down 27%. We're sitting at $2.92. So I think in the short term, quite honestly, I think the stock is going to do well. I don't think it's going to be one of those. Whenever we see, of course, this thing wants to glitch out on me, but no problem. So we saw this crazy, run up right here. I don't know how much of these we're really gonna get. We might get quite a few, or it might just be a nice slow rise as we're going up. I think as people start realizing that BioHiTech might be a good company to invest in, we could get these slight bumps right here. But other than that, I think that it's a good stock to be in. As always, you have to go out and do your own research and make sure that this is a company that you're willing to take a risk on. Because if you see here, I mean, it's a penny stock. It's sitting at $2.93, and the market cap, guys, is only $71 million. So it is a penny stock, and like I've discussed on this channel before, there are risks associated with investing in penny stocks. Anything could happen. They don't have the strong financials to back them up that make it so that it's hard for them to go under. But I think BioHiTech, me personally, just based off of everything I've seen and researched, I think that it's going to do well. Of course, I could be extremely wrong, but this is a company that I see myself holding for a very long time, at least for the next maybe couple of years, few years. If we do get a crazy bump up, so I actually didn't sell whenever I saw this, at $4. I didn't sell my shares. And maybe that would have been a good time if you are in BHTG and you saw this double literally in the span of a day. Yeah, that might have been a little bit of that would have been an opportunity to take some profits on a stock like this. But also, whenever it comes down like this, maybe that's a good opportunity for you to load up on a couple of shares. So these are just my 2 cents, folks. I want to hear what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. If you're new around here, please subscribe and join the family. It turns out that not a lot of you guys that watch these videos are subscribed, which is okay, but I'd really appreciate it if you join the family and subscribed. It really helps out the channel. Thumbs up on the video so that we can get it out to more people. I really appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you guys think. I think that BioHiTech is a very interesting play, but I want to know what you guys think. Let me know. Peace out, folks.